What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right here is the 2025 Kia Carnival SX Prestige, or I don't know if you guys prefer me to say Carnival, but I'll stick to Carnival during this review. And this is a minivan that does things I didn't know it did until I received this vehicle. Now, let's be honest, the minivan segment, it's kind of funny nowadays, especially in America, because of the way they're making smaller SUVs that are around the same price point. But this one here, my tester, fully loaded, the highest trim level of the Carnival, is priced at just under $54,000. And is it worth it? I think it reminds us that a minivan can do things that an SUV can't. So who is this vehicle for? Let me show you. Let's talk about a brief history. The Kia Carnival has many names in different markets. It came out in 1998 but didn't hit the American market until 2002. We received the Kia Sedona. In 2005, the second generation was introduced worldwide, an American introduction at the 2005 Chicago Auto Show for the 2006 model. In North America, we received both the long and short wheelbases. Our version received a 5-star rating from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and the IIHS gave the Sedona its highest rating, making the 2006 Kia Sedona the safest minivan tested at the time. A rebadged variant came to America in 2007 called the Hyundai Entourage that ran until 2009. In 2011, it received an update to its physical appearance with the tiger nose grille and the taillights with a more powerful engine. But Kia dropped the short wheelbase version because of poor sales. The third generation debuted at the 2014 New York International Auto Show for the 2015 model year. In the US, the Sedona was only offered in the LX and EX models, but in 2015, Kia brought over the SX and limited trim levels. The current fourth generation, now called the Carnival globally, debuted in June of 2020. Using a new mid-size platform, sales didn't begin in the US till March of 2021. In 2024, the Carnival was updated for the 2025 model year with a hybrid powertrain and limited dark edition becoming available. Now here we are with the fourth generation Carnival, and you have to admit, this looks pretty good. But let's start in the front while we're right here. The first thing you notice is the headlamps. I love the stacked lights, but this continuous strip of that daytime running lamp / turn signal is what makes this front end complete to me. And since that light is so massive, you can see they also included the headlamp with the cuts of the upper portion of the grille and going down into that lower bumper. I think that was a phenomenal job right there, giving it a little bit of edge, a little bit of dimension. Now coming over here, following that daytime running lamp / turn signal, you see this cut where it dips down right there. We'll get to that in a second. Right here, you can see that polished aluminum Kia logo. It seems like that's what they're going for on the vehicles nowadays, and I like it. You have that gloss black on this upper portion of the grille. Right here you have your 360 camera. That is your front camera right there. And these chrome inserts on the grille gave it a little bit of contrast that I think worked very well. Right here you have that gunmetal grayish black satin finish that contrast to this gloss black. I think that was a nice touch. Dropping low down here, you can see this bottom portion of the front bumper. It has that same gunmetal satin finish right here with your fog lights right there. And I love the design with the two rectangle shapes. Now I mentioned this cut right here. I said we were gonna go back to it because if you start at the bottom where you see these dramatic cuts in the lower portion of the bumper that makes it look very great, very sporty, you can see that dimension goes up, and then you see that cut goes up into this, but yet you have these cuts on the hood, which makes it look aerodynamic, guys. I'm not sure if that actually helps with the drag, but it looks pretty good. Now let's move alongside. Now the side view of this van is just as amazing as the front. I mean, look how long it is. Let's give the minivan some respect, huh? Now, starting in front, one thing I want to mention, I talk about the headlights, but on the side, there is that cut that you saw on the headlight that runs across the entire side of the vehicle, and a new cut that runs from the hood that continues all the way down. Great play with dimension and design. It blended everything together. Dropping down here around the wheel well, there's a couple different cuts and a play with dimension. I like it. It gives it a little more girth around the wheel wells, but Usually you'll see a different color right here, like the gloss black or a different texture. I wonder why Kia didn't go with that. I would love to see it, but this is perfectly fine. Now dropping down here, you have your 19-inch gloss black wheels that sit on 235/55, and I think they work very well with this vehicle. Now, while we're right here talking about the gloss black, you see the different accents everywhere. You can only get this on the SX trim levels. So if you get the SX, you have to get the dark edition in order to get all this. And if you get the SX Prestige, this is how it comes. But only on those two, you will get those rims. Also, this color, this blue is called Astra Blue, and it is an additional $495. That also only comes on the SX and SX Prestige models. Now, continuing, I love the fact that they put this window right here in which would have been a huge blind spot area. And the mirror, the attention to detail even continues with the mirrors. You have that gunmetal gray finish right here at the top, and what divides those two is the turn signal. I mean, great play with material. Underneath there, of course, you do have your camera for your 360 camera. Now, the addition to this black on the side of the windshields, I think was great. It added a touch of premium with that gloss black. Now, dropping down, you see this nice cut to the window. Everything is so sharp and nicely refined, but yet when you go in the front and around the back, you'll see the smoothness. Now, I love the contrast they did by putting this polished aluminum on top of the door handles. That was a great touch. It made it look that much more premium. And by the way, this door handle does have the light on the inside. Yes, it is a stick your hand right there. It unlocks. Push this here, it locks. Now dropping down, you can see the lower part of this vehicle on the side where the skirts are. This is a nice play with material too. You have that black plastic, but yet you have that same gunmetal finish that complements the front, that complements the mirror, guys. Great play with material once again. You have the gloss black that separates the front door from the rear door. And just look at the size of that door while I'm talking about it. I mean, just amazing. You do have that same gray gunmetal satin finish on your roof rails. Very nice touch. Coming back here, I love this design right here. It's like adding a piece of art to your vehicle. I'm really happy with that design, and I'm glad they did it in that gunmetal contrast because that needed a little more contrast. And this piece actually extends all the way, wrapping around the back. Great play. And now here, once again with design, I love the fact that those cuts that ran from the headlight, from the hood, continues and make the line for the sliding door, which hits the rear tail light. Great blend with material. Here is your gas cap, guys, and right here that makes it look very nice. You do have this fin right here, this spoiler, but yet look at this roof rack. Well, roof rack. It's cut off right here. I love that. It makes it look like it's floating. It gives it a very fast design. I'll step back and you can see what I'm talking about. And lastly, right here, you can see the gloss black that blends in with the side and the rear window. I think that was a great touch. Also, clean this area up a lot. But let's move around back. The play with dimension and design continues. Right here are those two lines that I told you came from the headlight, came from the hood, came across the side of the vehicle, made the groove for the sliding door, and ran into the tail light. Great touch of design. Now we're gonna work our way down. Right here's where you see that gloss black, and like I said, I think it looks great, adding right between the side and the rear windows. It makes it look very clean, very continuous. You have the gloss black running across here. You have this long LED third brake light, which looks very good. You have a camera right here, and what's tucked up under here, guys? The wiper. Thank you. I love that. This looks very clean. The fact, once again, that they put the camera and the wiper right there, that was beautiful. Beautifully done. Dropping down here, you do have that gunmetal satin finish that wraps all the way around. Great touch, great contrast. You have this, which looks like it is a light bar, but it's not. You have these stacked LED brake lights, and this light continues till about right here, and it complements the front headlights, guys. It is the same design pretty much, and it looks pretty good. And I must tell you right now, if you want this design tail lights and this running across here, you have to get the SX Prestige. No other trim level will give you these certain LED lights and this strip coming across here. So if you like this, You have to get this one. Now, dropping down, you have, once again, that polished aluminum looking Kia logo, which I love. Once again, right here, you have that same finish on the Carnival, but here you have another camera for as your reverse camera, guys. So you see, even though this is a minivan, yet you still have certain things that trucks and SUVs give you for towing. Two cameras back here. Untucked up under here, you do have the lever for your power tailgate. Dropping down here, you have this black plastic finish bumper. I would have liked to have seen that gloss, but yet you do have that gunmetal finish right here and more black plastic under here. There is your sensors right there. I'm glad that they actually match the panels they're on. And there is your reflector with your reverse light, guys. This thing is pretty clean. And back here, while we're talking about this power tailgate, it does have the capability of using your foot. It does have the capability to where it senses the key coming and it opens by itself. But let's move to the fun part, the interior. Stepping inside of the Kia Carnival, the first thing you notice is this brownish tan color. This is called Tuscan Umber. So this interior is Tuscan Umber and off black. But we'll start right here on the door. You do have that soft touch. I know it looks like plastic, but it is a soft touch material. Right there you have all of that gloss black complemented by this aluminum door handle, and right inside of there is your ambient lighting. I'll show you guys at night. But dropping down here, the play with materials, patterns, and stitching. I love the slanted stitching on this Tuscan Umber. That makes it look that much more premium. You do have your two memory settings right there. Down here you have traditional buttons for your power mirror, close, open, windows, locks. Right here you do have that plastic Tuscan Umber, and here you have that soft padded Tuscan Umber. And dropping down here, hard plastic right there, but if you come over, look at what they etched into the plastic that leads to one of your 12 Bose premium sound speakers, guys. And this dip right here, it was not needed, but it added attention to that Bose speaker, in my opinion. Down here you do have a cubby with a cup holder, and that is pretty much going on with this driver door. Now let's step inside. We'll start right here on the dashboard. You have that 11-inch heads-up display up there, and you can see this gloss black just continuing all the way around, running it into the doors. I love that right there. Dropping down, you have this little padded, it's not soft, but it is padded plastic right there. You have your hard plastic here. And the one thing about Kia is I love the design they do with their vents. Their vents, the design stretches all the way across the dashboard, and I love that. That is a great play right there. It makes it inconspicuous, in my opinion. You have the gloss black right here. Under here, you do have ambient lighting, and it's interesting. I'll show you guys at night because the ambient lighting isn't shining down on this, but it's rather inside of here, illuminating up. Interesting. You have your controls for the brightness of your gauge cluster and all that. Your traction control on and off. And dropping down here, you do have Carnival branded carpets. That is great. Great attention to detail. Add that much more premium. This is a manual tilt telescope steering wheel. The turn stocks have the gloss black on it, which I think is very premium. You have your leather wrapped steering wheel with all these gloss black and aluminum accents even integrated in the button. And I love this big portion down here with that gloss black. Makes it look that much more premium. But I'm gonna step in here, guys. It is hot outside. I do have the air on, but I'll turn that down for you right here. Now there is your two 12.3-inch displays up there, the infotainment displays. And if you drop down here, you'll see that ambient lighting continuing right there. Down here is one of the most interesting things in this vehicle. So you can see it's set up for the climate. There is the cold, hot, of course. This is for the front seat. This is for the rear. There's your sync button. But if you press this, now that's for the volume, the power. Here are a few climate controls, but this is all controls for your infotainment system, which is interesting. Never seen that before in a vehicle. So I'm gonna press this one more time so you can see climate control. I'm gonna press it again. Infotainment system. That is interesting. Dropping a little lower, you see, of course, what you see in most Kia's is the two USB-C charge plugs, but if you press this button that illuminates white, it's just a charger, and if it illuminates orange, it's connected to the infotainment system and it's charging. That one's just the charger. This one right here shows the levels of the battery that you put right here on the wireless charge pad, and of course your 12-volt charger. And speaking of that wireless charge pads, I have one of the biggest cell phones, the largest cell phones, and this charge pad will pretty much fit any size cell phone. I just wanted you guys to take note of that. There is a padded storage area right here, and coming over here is your gear shifter, and your gear shifter is interesting because it does have that touch of aluminum right there where you shift. It has the aluminum running around the entire perimeter of this center console, and it's complemented with this gloss black. This was a great touch, and even if you look right here underneath the park brake button, it continues with that aluminum. But here's your drive mode selector, your auto hold for when you stop and the car hold the brake on its own, and over here you can see your heated cooled seats. Right there, there's your heated steering wheel with a 2-level heater. There is your park sensors, and there is your 360 camera. I'll show you guys that since we're on it. You have a view, and there's your bird's eye view of the entire vehicle, which Kia, I love that you guys do that. And right here is another storage area. It's all hard, but it's hard plastic, but it's textured. You can put pins or whatever. Normal size center console right there that has 2 cup holders and a spot for the phone right here, which is pretty cool. Now if we come up, you can see that you have the rear facing camera, and of course if you pull this lever it'd be a traditional mirror, but that rear view mirror is a big deal in my life, trust me. And up here, if we can brighten up, there we go, you have your different buttons for your lights, of course your left sliding door, right sliding door, the trunk hold button, the power doors off so the kids won't mess with it. Right here you'd see 2 levers for 2 sunroofs. I'll show you that in a minute. But coming back down here, finishing up in the front, you can see that the passenger side gets the same treatment. The only difference over here is there is a little storage area down there on the side of the center console. But that is pretty much it for the front. And let's step in the second row. Now right here on this sliding door, you can see there's a button right there. I don't know why it's not a sensor like the front door, but whatever. You pull, it does power open, of course, modern day. And the first thing you notice are those seats at this angle. And I'll get to that in a second. I want you guys to take a look at these massive 14.6 inch screens, guys. These are massive. But these seats right here, this is the VIP package. And it's an additional, I want to say $2,500. But right here, you have manual levers. Now give me a second. This slides the seat forward and backward. This slides the seat left and right. How many times have you seen that? And I'll show you guys in a second. But look at the cushion on this headrest. I mean, wow, it is comfortable, guys, I tell you that. The perforated leather seats, same treatment as the front, has 2 armrests right there. And these seats are dual seats matching. Looking up, you do have a sunroof, guys, and yes, I say a sunroof because just like the front, this can open, and there you go, Mom. My mother asks me pretty much every time she sees a panoramic roof, does that rear glass open? And it's no. Finally, here you go, Mom. How cool is that to have VIP seats in the second row and a dedicated sunroof in a minivan that's just over $50,000. That feels like royalty. But in this second row, like I said, you do get those matching seats. On the outside, you have the manual levers. But if I climb up in here real quick, I'll show you guys on this second seat. Let me close that sunroof because it's adding a lot of light. Right here, you can see these. They are matching seats. So I'll just show you on this one. Those are buttons that's an easy up and easy down, meaning if you're fully reclined, by one touch of a button, it'll sit you up. By one touch of a button, it'll lay you back. Those are your regular settings for your seat, your leg extension, the slide forward and backward, and the backrest. There's your lumbar support. And swinging around here, the one thing about the passenger side VIP seat is there are buttons right here where you can slide the front seat forward and even lean it forward so you can get as much space back here as possible. Now on both seats you do have USB-C plugs right there for the rear passengers. Once again, those 2 cup holders with that cell phone slot. Here is your remote, one of your remotes for the TVs. You do have the traditional wall plug charger right here and your 12 volt right there with additional storage down there. You have the leather trimmed, which is cool, bungee storage pockets on the back of the seats. The back of the seats are hard plastic, which makes it great. And this is kind of awkward because these seats are fixed. There are your heated and cool buttons for these seats. There's your window. Yes, this rear window does go down, guys. And it also has a shade. Of course, this is the VIP package. Right there is the button to open that sliding door. Down there, you do see a cup holder and one of your Bose speakers, guys. But that's pretty much it going on back here. If you look up, you do see that fam cam, which I love that. You can turn that camera on from the front seat and see everybody in the back. Right here, interestingly, I guess because this is the VIP package, you can control the voice commands for the vehicle from back here. And you see it has 2 speakers right there. And in the front, there are 2 speakers also. It's interesting because if this person sitting in this seat activated the voice command, you'll hear it through the speakers over there. Same thing with that front seat, you'll hear it over there. And on this side, if the driver activates it, you'll hear it over here. The second row, you hear it over here. That's interesting. It knows exactly where the person is that's trying to activate it. And right up here, lastly, if you look at the roof, you will see there is your climate control buttons for your second and third row. This is a 3-zone vehicle with vents above the head, which I think needs to be pretty much a standard in the industry. Now, guys, let's hop in the third row. I'll show you those VIP seats in a second, but we'll hop in the third row. I wanted to make note of this. It's kind of tough getting in the third row because of those VIP seats and they are fixed to the floor, and that's about the best space I can get. So let's climb back here. Now the third row. You do have the same treatments that you get in the other rows pretty much. You have 2 cup holders right here, a cubby right there that the kids like to put snacks or candy, a USB-C charger, and one of your Bose speakers right there. And this is interesting. This little window, I put my hand on it, has a shade. I mean, if that is not premium, what is? And you get the same thing on the other side of the third row. These are 60/40 split seats, and it is quite comfortable back here. The headrest does go up a nice amount of ways. I'm sitting back here right now. I had 2 adults sit back here over the weekend. This is the July 4th weekend, and they were pretty comfortable, as you can see by the space right there. And the second row still does have a generous amount of space. And we'll get back to the second row in a second because I want to show you guys those VIP seats. But let's head into the trunk. Now, heading into the trunk of the Kia Carnival, there is that camera right there, one of 2 cameras in the back. This is a power lift tailgate, and not too much going on back here, but you can see there's a lot going on with these seats. So let's just start on the sides. Little storage pockets right here. This is interesting because there is, I mean, nothing will fall out of this storage pocket. Another one down here that has a couple tire kits, and there is something up under here which you can put up more stuff, I guess. I didn't notice that until this very moment, guys. And coming on this side, this is good for tailgating. You have your traditional 12 volt and the traditional wall plug, guys. So we can still tailgate in here. And look how deep this trunk is, guys. I mean, let me put it on the side right there so you can see how deep it is. This is level with the trunk. And of course, it's that big to where these seats can tumble, but that adds a ton of storage back there. And with these seats, as you can see, this is how you pull it down. And I'll show you guys, as you see, when I pull it down, that means these seats can recline. That's about the furthest that seat can recline. I mean, look at that. You're almost getting the VIP treatment back here as you do in that second row. But if you pull and just let it fall forward, you can grab these handles, pull, and it goes flush into the floor, creating a nice amount of storage, guys. I mean, let me push that down to make sure it's secure and step back. That was a great design, and especially being that you have those VIP seats, and a lot of vehicles that have VIP second rows, you really don't get the traditional usage of the third row in the trunk because of machinery, equipment, and the bulky seats. But here you have the VIP seats and still get the same traditional use in the third row and in the trunk. Now, this thing is spacious enough for a family, and you can get a bench seat right there, but on the higher trim levels you can't. Being that that has the VIP seats, of course, they slide in and out, so it can pass these cup holders right here to recline, and I'll show you guys that now. Let's close this power lift tailgate and let me show you some things about that second row. Stepping into the second row to show you guys a few things about the VIP seats. Now, these seats, I believe, is worth the money. So let me show you. The first thing you do is you grab this back lever to push the seat inside. Remember, it has to clear the cup holder on this side. Second, you grab this lever, slide it back as far as you can, and look at that distance right there. Now, let me get in here. You guys see the distance. Let me slide it back forward. This is far forward as it go, and you can see I still have my legs. I still have a few inches of space right here. I can easily sit there for a short journey. Now I'm gonna slide all the way back again, and by one touch of a button on the side, you just sit back and relax. Now when it gets at this point, this is where you gotta let out the leg extension. So with that button on the side, fully let this out. Oh man, oh, and I forgot to grab the remote for the TV. I think I should close this door. I'll see you guys after a quick nap. Put up my shade. Matter of fact, I'll put up this shade while I'm at it. Open this vent right above my head. Oh, I forgot about that camera. You guys are still here. So let me put all of this back. Kia, I was actually working. I wasn't relaxing, but I'll put this back here and show you guys. You can easily exit by the touch of that button. You sit here. It goes in all the way by itself. And easily while we're back here relaxing, if it wasn't such a hot day, I would open the sunroof. And there is how you use the VIP seats in the Kia Carnival with the VIP package. And I have to note, once again, the only reason I was able to lay this seat back that far is because of the third row being collapsed. I can still recline it, but not that far. And this second seat can do the same thing. These seats are identical, and that is the second row. Now, let's take it for a drive. Driving the 2025 Kia Carnival SX Prestige. It is pretty much what you think driving a minivan is, except with the cool seats, the steering wheel. This thing feels luxurious. You have all these different settings to make the ride that much more comfortable. The only thing that I think can be updated or done better is, being that you have the VIP seats in the back, the ride is a tad bit rough, especially when you're back there trying to relax. So maybe an air ride system should be added to the VIP package to make it more of a smooth ride. Now, I love how quiet this thing is, and you guys can hear. The only hum you hear is the climate controls, but let me turn that off. Hear how quiet that is? This engine is extremely quiet, and I think that does help with the VIP package. Being that said, this motor is a 3.5 liter 6-cylinder engine that pushes out about 287 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque attached to an 8-speed transmission. Now, it isn't the most powerful engine, but I think it is perfect for this vehicle. And like I said, the quietness. This vehicle is all about passenger comfort. Now, the mileage on this thing is pretty good. Once again, it is that quiet V6 engine, so usually that means not that much power, but enough power. Now, the engines that are weak are very loud and obnoxious, like a little bitty chihuahua just growling all the time. Now, this thing does get 18, 26, 21 mpg, which isn't bad at all. But when you're running climate controls and all that stuff, that could change. Even when it comes to driving this Carnival, I have no complaints. I just told you guys that the suspension should be an added bonus. The one other thing is that I'm not too big of a minivan person. My wife, she can't stand minivans. And the dashboard being low is what makes a minivan feel like a minivan. So if this dashboard was just a little higher, gave it more screen, I think I wouldn't have no complaints about this vehicle. I mean, I don't anyway. I'm just thinking about things that could improve. And once again, like I said in the beginning, you think about the history. This came from that Sedona. This came from that, what is that, Entourage. And now you have this, a legit premium minivan. This thing, I really underestimated this minivan. I've really wanted it because of the styling on the outside. Me having my Tester is the first time I've ever been in this minivan, which I don't know why, but it's great, especially with those VIP seats back there. But the ride quality is good. I have enough information on these screens up front. I have my compass up right now with my RPM and my speed. I do have my heads-up display set to everything, showing stop signs and school zones, miles per hour, cruise control. And the one other thing about this vehicle that, once again, surprised me, because it's a minivan, not because it's Kia. Kia is on a roll. But when it comes to the safety features, specifically the cruise control, you do have the lane departure. Well, it will keep you in the lane. The one thing I like with Kia is that you can use that lane keep feature without using the actual cruise control for the speed. So I can keep my foot on the gas pedal and hit the brake whenever I want, and the car will keep itself in its lane. I think that is great that they separated those two, and you can use them combined, of course. But the other feature that caught me off guard is when you're using the lane keep in the cruise control, it seems like only on the freeway. I couldn't get it to do it on the streets. But you put on a blinker, it'll switch lanes for you. Yes, the sensors will look around and make sure there is no vehicle or nothing in that lane, and the vehicle will switch lanes for you. I think that was just crazy. Once again, it's a Kia. You are not spending $100,000, $200,000 on a Bentley, on a Porsche, on a Rolls Royce, or even $100,000, $200,000 on an Escalade. This is a $54,000 Kia with VIP seats, fully reclined, heated and ventilated front second row seats, cruise control, lane keep, 2 sunroofs, not a panoramic roof, 2 fully opening sunroof, the fam cam that snitches on the kids, my wife called that, and the features go on in this vehicle. Do not sleep on this vehicle, guys. This is a perfect road trip vehicle. If you look at my social media accounts, you will see I had this thing over the July 4th weekend, and it was pretty comfortable with the fireworks. The kids love it. My wife love it. I have nothing to say bad about this vehicle.
And there you have it, guys, the 2025 Kia Carnival SX Prestige. This vehicle is amazing, surprising, I love it. But thank you guys for watching. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. Follow me on pretty much all the social media platforms. And if you are interested in some of the people who design vehicles like these, I've interviewed a couple of them on my new project called Becoming You. If you go on my YouTube page, you will see it at the bottom. But until next time, guys.